if you know what you need to do in life, and you know what your purpose is, and you're doing things that are not aligned with those steps, that would be ignoring your conscience. And here's the thing too, is if you're not going to listen to you, if you're not going to listen to yourself, why the fuck would I listen to you?
Welcome back to Impactpreneurs. I'm here, Davrick Lyles, with my host and colleague and associate.
And something else, Sean Alexander.
Lions Not Sheep.
There you go.
We have two special guests today. Iris Islas, wellness competitor. And you can go to her Instagram. They're going to show it on the screen. And we also have Maria Y. I can't even pronounce your last name. Maria, why can't I pronounce your last name?
Maria, go ahead and pronounce it for us.
Yandrasits.
Yandrasits. Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Bless you. So she is a wellness competitor as well. And so we have them on the podcast today, and we're going to ask them a series of questions. But first of all, Sean.
Yeah.
You're a little off today. What's going on?
My heart's heavy today. I told you a long time ago, I'm dedicating my entire right arm, getting a full sleeve tattoo that's dedicated to my brother, who's deceased, and it's almost finished. But this morning I got his gravestone tattooed inside my bicep on my arm, and it hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. Like, I went into it excited, stoked, ready, like it's almost finished, and then when it got done, I saw it and it just got me. It crippled my brain, not in a bad way. It's just like it just kind of hit me hard.
Right.
It's like one of those things where I probably will never, and it doesn't control me in any factor, like in a negative way, but it's one of those things where I'll never forgive my parents for it, because when he passed, I wanted to cremate him, and the whole family fought me because, like, I knew I was going to be moving around. I'm the youngest out of the whole family, and out of 4 siblings, and everybody was dead set on burying him. My father bought the grave spot next to him, but I was like, you guys are going to die before him. I'm going to be moving around the world. I'm going to be living in different cities and different states, and I want him with me. And it was just one of those things that when he passed, it was a fight, like a real fight for a while. And it was like basically the whole family against me. And it just kind of put me in this mindset where I was like, you guys are so selfish, because why would you not? I mean, like, if I died and I had 2 or 3 children, I would automatically leave it up to my youngest child to decide what happens to me, just by default, because it's going to live longer. But anyway, so I got the gravestone put in, and it just kind of, and we're both Geminis. We're only 2 weeks apart.
Wow.
Obviously, he's older than I am a lot, but he was born in 70. But it was just one of those. It got on there. I got excited, but then like I got emotional, and I'm like, man, this whole arm is almost finished, and it's all dedicated to my brother. So it's a little bit one of those days where it's just a heavy heart. It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah, well, that's tattoo has a lot of meaning, and
yeah, I
know that most of your body that you're tattooing has every meaning behind it, versus, hey, I'm just going to show up in the strip drunk and get an ice cream cone on my forearm, right? It's like, I just felt like it. No, but I appreciate people that do art on their bodies, because they all have meanings behind it, and they should, and that's awesome. Well, stay strong, brother.
Yeah, I'm good.
So, my idea, or our idea, I should say, I thought about, this was kind of last minute change having these two gals on the show, but one thing we all have, a couple things we have in common. We're all fitness people. We're all, some are competitors, some not. We've competed in the past. These two are competing. But the other thing that's unique about us is that we're all, I don't want to say the black sheep, but we're all that child from the family where we're out on our own. We're independent. We're independent thinkers. We're entrepreneurial. We're go-getters. We've all of our stories, they've heard our stories.
No, yours, not mine.
Oh, they've heard yours.
No,
part of it.
Not yet. Yeah.
But we haven't heard their stories.
Correct.
And I want to talk to them about kind of the trials and tribulations they went through in life, and how did they end up here in Vegas? Why are they here? And then, how they're overcoming negative input associations, and how their life has been impacted in a positive way.
Sure.
Because we're all striving for the same thing. But when you brought up that you're the youngest, I'm the youngest from my godparents' family, single child from my mom. And then, I started thinking about it. It's like, wait a minute. I know Maria's story a little bit. I know her story really well. I know yours, but we all are that person on the outside that I don't want to say bailed, but left and said, I'm going to go conquer the mountain. I'm going to figure it out on my own. And there was a lot of resistance from family members, maybe not from yours or mine, or why are you moving? Why are you taking your kids? My grandkids, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to kind of go around the table and touch on some things and then maybe talk about what are you doing to stay positive and move forward right now? Because you're on your own. We're on our own in a sense, right? None of our family lives in Las Vegas.
No.
We're just,
That's weird.
you know, and I don't want to say this in a condescending or negative way. Not a lot of us have been back to see our family in a while.
No, ever since, I know for me for sure, ever since COVID started, I haven't gone back to California ever since. So it's been what, 2 years, two and a half years.
And if forgive me if by asking, I don't want to expose people. Your relationship with your family close or not?
With my mom and with my mother and my father, it's close to a distance that at like an arm's distance that I keep them there. And sometimes I'll push them further. Sometimes I'll bring them really close, but I control and dictate how close I want to be with them. But we're in good standing to answer that. But with other family members, no. I blacklisted my whole family from ever getting to know anything about my life again.
Wow. Okay. I'm at the arm's length as well. I keep them, stiff on.
We have to, like, because
Adrian Peterson, get off me.
It's that mentality, and it's just a lot of my family still kind of plays the victim, and they're all like double my age or more, and it's like I can't have that. I can't have the idea. I can't be around hanging out with family members that just they're stuck in this mindset because things went wrong 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's just it's an anchor. It's really what it is. It's like a 10,000 pound anchor, and it's like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like you guys want to keep doing you, then we have nothing to talk about ever again. And obviously, family for me, family is not blood. Family is who I choose that I know will be there for me when I need them, and vice versa. I'll be there for them when I know they need me, and I'll do it within the blink of an eye. And you and I have talked about this before. Right. Certain values, like one of my biggest values in my life is loyalty, and I take loyalty very personal. And you know this, loyalty today is thrown around like it's fucking grass. Like it doesn't mean anything to anybody. People throw it around so lightly and so loosely, but really, like when you use loyalty in today's day and age, like what does that mean? How far will somebody go for somebody else? And it's not that far. Where you and I, we grew up in a time where we were raised off of like hardcore old school traditional values, and old school traditional loyalty, like mafia status loyalty is, man, if you have a problem with somebody and it's within reason, then now it's my problem, and I have a problem with that person, and I'm not going to be on good terms with someone that you have a problem with when you and I are that close, just because for the sake of things. That's part of loyalty to me. And to some people, they think that would be negative. That's that's a little far-fetched. No, not really, because those kind of values. Because if you ever get into something with somebody, I'm there, and I have to make sure I separate myself from an individual that someone I consider family has a problem with.
Do you feel that your family's telling you what you should do because that's what they would do, or what they feel is best for you?
They tried to, but it didn't work. I had from a young age, I had a brain of my own, so nothing ever penetrated when they tried to tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to go.
You rebelled.
I feel like I'd say I made the more intelligent decision. So I wouldn't say rebelled.
So now here you are, successful. You went through a lot of trials and tribulations, but you got around the right people.
Yeah. Your
mentor. Yeah. Is one of them.
Yeah. I mean, through my whole life, and we'll let them talk about that too, but through my whole life, like I knew that after I got clean from drugs and after I started to work on myself, when I realized I was ready for a little bit more education in life and guidance and where to go, I knew I needed to get around people that are going to teach me more about life, because I had lost the last 20 years of my life. So I don't know anything about taking the first step to go conquer, or to do anything for myself. So I was aware enough to know that, like, okay, I'm good. I have great habits now. Now I need to seek mentorship with someone that's going to teach me the ropes on how to become successful, a businessman, redevelop some strong core values, my integrity, my spiritual values, And over the years, I have progressed from one mentor to another every 2, 3, 4 years.
And then you give back and mentor other people.
Yeah.
Life coach, recovery coach, business coach,
business mindset coaching. It's just
relationship coach.
Yeah, and the thing is, it all comes from perspective and past experiences, and what I've found to work for me, and what I've found to work amongst many people. Mine's not just some stupid textbook information.
Right. So I want to guide our questions to PumaKat here, Iris.
Why aren't you going to Maria first?
Because Maria's a special guest. She's like, what are you guys talking about?
She's a special guest. You're the guest.
Oh my God.
So obviously people on this podcast know that we've been in a relationship for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
A little more, I think, now.
Oh, she's counting. But I want to ask you, maybe you can show people some of the things that outside of us being together, but what influenced you to move forward and create positive impacts in your life? I know you were in Tucson for a while. You kind of hit your head on the ceiling, meaning that you couldn't go any farther with where you were at. What gave you the incentive to make the decision, not necessarily to be with me and move, but to say, hey, I'm going to take a chance and move forward, get around positive people, go to the next level?
Yeah, I was prepping for my show, and I think I was just in low carbs.
Oh, you're saying you made a mistake. Wow.
And then,
Carbs were very low,
are you being
so
sarcastic or are you being truthful?
You know when you have low carbs, you compete, and your brain's a little.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dating tip, guys, date a girl that's in prep. You got a better chance of winning her over, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Tucson, and for me, the city, like, I just felt like I couldn't really move on. Like, I don't know if it was the city. I was moving forward. I was a hairdresser, but I saw ladies that were there for like 20 years, and I just didn't see myself doing that for 20 years. I also didn't see myself having a business in that city. I just felt like my brain and everything went bigger, and I felt like I couldn't do it there. So then I met you, and I just kind of.
So like people there didn't have what you wanted.
Yeah, they were satisfied. The top I could get there, I looked at the ladies that had been there 20 years. They're making good money as a hairdresser. They have their clientele. But to me, that wasn't enough for me. And I was already rising to the top. And that's where I would end up, like these ladies. And I didn't think that was for me. And then the other part was having my own salon, like my own business. But it also didn't make sense to do it in that city. I feel like I had to move out to grow.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, so I did a lot of things. I mean, even my family, like you guys said, we're all the sheep. I didn't really think I was, but I guess you say I am.
The black sheep?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of left and nobody wanted you to go. Your whole family's here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I left my job. I left my family.
You got a lot of pushback from your dad, your brother, your family members.
Yeah, I mean, they were at the airport like it was a movie scene. So.
What do you mean they were at the airport?
Well, I said I'm going to go to, where was it, Seattle? Yeah, said I'm going to go to Seattle, and I'll be back, just going to go do some photo shoots. They were like, what? They just went nuts. They're like, no, you're not going. They're literally stopping me at the airport. I said, I'm just going for the weekend. I'll be back. But I think my dad was afraid, something bad would happen to me.
How old were you when this happened?
26.
So, and they were still like
And you're how old now?
29.
Okay.
And they're very overprotective.
Yeah, well, I left the marriage. Is that allowed to say?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say
So
that.
am I allowed to say that? Yes.
Yeah, I I got separated. I was in the outs of. So I don't really tell my parents what I'm doing. I have my own house and everything, but they had to see all of that because I decided to go back home since I was going through a separation. And so otherwise I wouldn't really have to tell them. But to them, they thought I was really going nuts because I was making all these changes that didn't make sense. And I was kind of really taking a risk.
Now, was there anybody in Tucson that you looked up to as a mentor?
No.
What about?
No, it sounds like. Go ahead.
There's a client of mine, she was a client. I did her hair, and she was a business owner. She owned like 2 or 3, they're called street tacos in Tucson, Arizona.
In the mall?
In the mall, one downtown Tucson.
Does that make good money?
Well, I don't know, but she opened my mind to actually wanting to do more. And she actually gifted me a camera to start my YouTube channel because I told her how I really wanted to have all these other side ideas. And she's like, you can make it happen. So she was becoming a mentor in a way. I had
so her mindset was in the right place. So if we remove money from the factor, she was living her life on her terms, with no one kind of telling her what to do, without a ceiling. Like, she could have gone further if she wanted to, but she kind of opened and expanded your horizons to understand, like, hey, there's more to life than just sitting in a salon when you can go have multiple projects.
Yeah, she told me, she said, why don't you have your own salon? And I said, well, I mean, I know what goes into owning that type of business, and I didn't want to.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be there. I know it was going to take a lot of my time, so I didn't want to have that. I wanted more freedom. I think that's what we.
I think you made a right choice, because my mother she's a retired hairdresser, and she's owned 2 or 3 salons, and owning a salon is probably one of the biggest pain in the asses, because now you have to manage, because you might have people like subcontracting, like renting stations, but it's a pain because you got to manage that. They got to pay the rent on time, clientele that comes in. How do you manage walk-ins? Like, there's just so much that goes into the science of owning a salon, and if you don't have like 4 or 5 ballers that coming in that have hardcore high-end clientele all at one time, your salon can hurt really bad.
Well, not only that, I already worked at the top #1 salon in Tucson. We had 7 locations plus 2 sister salons. So I had clients from Scottsdale coming in, that we had the top clients like lawyers, doctors in there. So if I opened my own salon in that city, it was going to be hard to compete against the salon I was already at.
Right.
So I was already at the top. And like I said, it was going to be too much work to own that type of business. So, and then the other option was to just be a hairdresser there, like these ladies that have been there. I've been here 20 years, but their income can only go so far. And my mind was thinking way farther, and that scenario just didn't make sense.
Sure.
So.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And now you're in Vegas. You went to Seattle, Vegas.
Yeah, we were in like a year and a half. I lived in Seattle.
How'd you like Seattle?
No, it was too cold. I never experienced such cold weather in my life. I had to get a big jacket. I was like, what are these things?
I don't know. I love cold weather, but not rain weather.
I like the heat. Vegas is very similar to Arizona, so
yeah,
I like it here.
Right on. And now you're trying to compete. You got a national show in December.
Yeah, I'm prepping for my national.
And you're starting a clothing brand.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Working on it?
Activewear, and also like going out, little dresses, Everybody asked me about it, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Right on. And now we're off to Maria. What is it? Spicy Mexi. Spicy Mexi. Right on. Yep. Now we had the luxury or the good luck of fortune of meeting Maria in spring.
Yep.
And you were training at Fit Club.
Yep.
And then I thought this would be a great training partner for PumaKat, because you guys have a similar structure, similar heights, both wellness girls. Right. And then you disappeared on us.
I did.
She left.
It's like,
we did one training session.
Did you even say bye, or did you just
No. We were like, where'd she go? She was
like,
down
should I
there.
train with her?
I'm kind of like that.
She's gone.
She's like 5 foot. We're like, where'd she go? She was standing over there a minute ago.
Comes in and leaves.
Is she under the weights? Like, what happened? And
She's
then
that small. No, calm down.
And then she appears. I'm back. And we're like, where the hell you been? So, but I know you don't want to get too personal, but kind of maybe you can share your background as to, you were in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yep. Correct.
And you came back.
Yes.
And then, you moved here and then went back and you came back.
Yes.
So maybe you can talk about your background and why you're here, what you're looking for, and what motivated you to come back out here.
I mean, I came back out here mainly because, honestly, potential, just opportunity, and just to see how far I can go and take myself to the next level.
Where were you before?
Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yep. It was, I don't know, when I hear Minnesota, honestly, I just think it's depressing. Like, that's the one word. And that's because right here.
There you go. Scoot forward.
And that's because I started, so I used to do massage therapy out there. And I was doing personal training and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, I love the people there. Everyone's been super nice. I've had enormous amount of help. Hold on.
There you go.
There you go. I've had enormous amount of help out there, and from thousands of people, And so, but I would say it plateaued for me.
Sure.
I always wanted more. I wanted to just take that next leap and just keep going and keep going. And I needed to be around the right people in order to do that.
So when you say your personal training, and you don't have to expose them out, would you say you were doing pretty good financially out there, or is it just getting by?
I was getting by. Well, mainly because of COVID. And, you know,
And you couldn't do massages anymore either, probably.
well, so after the first shutdown, when we reopened, I was killing it, like as in massaging. So I would travel to people, and people were paying over $100 an hour. So
Yeah,
it was nice. And all I had to do was do like 3 clients a day for massaging, because I drive over there, and depending how far it was, and then in the morning or evening I'd train a client here or there. But that was if and when the gyms would open back up.
So if it was a full capacity, you're 6-7K a month, 5, 6, 7K.
6,000.
potential, but
300 a day,
then
5 days a week. Yeah.
but you have
6,000.
to remember too, our gyms didn't open up until like July or August.
Yeah, they were
Actually,
later.
No, it might have been fall. That fall.
Yeah,
fall.
they were later. Vegas was like the second town to slowly start opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get training back in until then. But then December happened, and mid-December, second shutdown happened again, and that's when everything got. And that's why I came back.
So I know you mentioned earlier you came back here. You're trying to find your way, maybe get into personal training, build a
Yeah.
business. And so once you do that, is that going to be something you're going to do full time? Do you have any other aspirations outside of personal training? Or I know you want to compete again, right?
Well, I've never competed before.
Oh, I thought you competed
she
before.
hasn't done a
I've
show
never.
yet.
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
So I actually plan on competing this spring. And then I was thinking about personal training, but to be honest, I honestly want to be a DJ.
You want to be a DJ?
I do.
Okay.
I love music. I love dancing. I love entertaining a crowd. That's what I've always been good at, and I want to see how far I can go.
Have you done it before?
Nope.
Practiced? Anything?
I used to play band and stuff, so I know I'll pick it up pretty quickly. But I found this school out here in Vegas, and it looks like a really cool program, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
So have you
Right on.
written down your goals? Like, do you have a 12-step program?
Game
do you have
plan.
anything in place, or are you just winging it right now?
honestly, I hate planning things out. I'm a go with the flow person. So
Okay.
I know the steps I need to take in order to get there. So,
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like, maybe a little bit of coaching will help.
Yeah, that too.
Right? Okay. Well, that's Sean's expertise, right? Not trying to sell Sean, but I mean, he's.
Well, she just got here.
I know.
Wait, when did you get here?
Like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks.
Yeah, because I know he helped individual. He helps personal trainers. Create. There's a lot of personal trainers out there that they're doing okay, but they could be doing great
Right.
instead of good. There's okay, good, and great, and there's some that don't do anything.
Right.
And he's taking those people from decent to great, right? Financially and in life. So
I think it's undervalued. Like the thing is that most people in the training business treat personal training as just a gig and not an actual business.
Right.
And so they just kind of go with the flow. And I don't mean that anything towards what you said,
right.
but they go with the flow. If clients come in, clients come in. If they don't, they don't. They don't have anything contracted. They don't have a business plan written out. They don't have anything legalized. And it just kind of creates this mega inconsistency on revenue, on clientele, who stays, who doesn't stay, people falling off the books. It sets you up to be in a life of always chasing and not chasing to grow, just chasing to get by.
Right.
And I think what people need to start doing is stop overvaluing their current situation and undervaluing what their life can look like.
Well, and that's my environment in Minnesota. It was we're all chasing. We're all trying to figure, you know what I mean? There wasn't one person that I could go to and was like, hey, can you coach me in this? Can you help? Oh, people would say that. Oh yeah, I can help
But
you.
they don't really know jack shit.
No.
So what I want to do is kind of do an experiment here, just a little experiment on maybe you've given Iris some guidelines on what steps she should take, kind of a sample of your experience and work to get to the next level. She wants to start this boutique. She wants to get the clothing line out. What are some of the basic, I call it basic bitch levels, step 101. What's the first couple things she should do as a entrepreneur, business owner to get her business going forward? Because a lot of people, Sean, and I'll let you get to that. A lot of people start, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But they never get their first foot on the ground. You know what I mean? They never write it down. They never do anything to start it going. It's all in their mind. So, and maybe I'll give her some suggestions. Maybe you can give her some suggestions on things that she should do.
Honestly, there's like three basics. Is number one, understanding your target market. That's first and foremost. Number two, you do have to have a business plan with target numbers, because without targets, like you're just kind of, it's like jumping on the road and I'm going to drive to New York and not even map it out. I'm just going to kind of let the freeway guide me there. And you might end up going all around in a fat circle before you even get there, instead of cutting right through the middle. And then also reverse engineering. So if you create, for example, we'll make it more short term, so because long term is harder. But if you, let's say you have a 12-month goal in business, whatever that goal is, set that goal first and then reverse engineer how the plan of how to get there. Because if you start from here, it's a lot more difficult of, okay, this is my goal from 12 months from now to hit, call it 50,000 for the first year. And if you start from here, it's kind of hard to figure out what are the each critical points and steps to take to get to 50,000 the first year, versus if you start at 50,000 a year and you go backwards on how much each month needs to be made. Because obviously in any business, the first few months is always slower. The first few months and the first year, depending on what type of business you go into, it's a loss. But in this case, just to make it easy in simplest form, you're going to have momentum, and as momentum picks up, the revenue gets higher and higher. So like first month is maybe 1,000, second month is maybe 2,000, and then maybe 2,500, and then it doubles like 5,000, and then 10,000. So but you have to reverse engineer that, and it's not just reverse engineering the numbers; it's the steps and the game plan of what you need to do to get to each of those points.
So you say write it down. Put it on a formula. And how long would that take? An hour, 2 hours, write it down just to get a basic one-on-one?
It depends on how clear you are.
Okay.
Because, clarity is power.
Right.
Without clarity, you're just, again, same thing. You're just kind of winging it. So you have to write it down. You have to know your target numbers. You have to do your homework. This isn't a one-day type of project, because at the same time, it's also going to burn you out too. So maybe you spend an hour or two a day, do some homework, do some research, figure out the number, figure out the cost, and then also you have to figure out what area you want to be targeting too. It can't just be a target market as far as people goes. It's got to be who and where, and what industry, which obviously you've already kind of figured that part out. And then create the game plan from there based on what, I guess really like what direction, how fast you want to go, without setting yourself any kind of limitations. And I think that's the biggest part, is if you kind of give yourself, you got to be semi-realistic, but don't be too realistic. But if you set yourself with limitations, you're not even going to reach those goals either. Because you and I know, like what you and I are doing right now, we set massive numbers, and if we miss, we still fall way above what we're currently doing regardless.
Absolutely. And that happened this year. And it was because I was around you too. We're feeding off each other. Like we're feeding off each other. Every podcast is like, wow, Sean's doing this. I'm going to not one up him, but it's like, wow, I got to elevate my game. But it motivates each other because we're around positive mental attitude people, right? And so that's good stuff, Sean. I appreciate that. That's some good notes.
So I mean, I didn't think to set the 12-month, reverse
engineer.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So I was going I said my goal is maybe 10,000 the first month. Like, I don't know if that's too high, too low, but you said to shoot. I'd rather shoot a little higher.
Here's the thing, because you also have to take into consideration what's the cost of your inventory too.
Yeah.
So you don't want to. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. You don't want to overspend in the beginning either, until you have a clientele that starts building up. And in your case, sometimes in the industry you're looking at, it is a very smart move to try to pick up a couple high athletes that you're just going to give them free stuff to market it, because that will have reach that you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing some research though. Like you said, I've been spending some time, looking at research manufacturers. So right now I'm trying to figure that out. But then I mean,
Yeah, your cost of goods.
I really don't know anything about it. So I'm really starting from scratch, and I don't have anybody that has done this and been there before that has started a business like this to tell me, oh, just go to this website. This is a good man. So I'm doing it all.
Actually, Jay
by
gave you
myself.
some leads from the gym. Jay? He
Oh,
actually
yeah,
told you
yeah,
where
he
to go.
did.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a
Not
start.
fully, but
No.
he just said this. What was it? Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned some
But
resources.
basically, I'm starting it myself. Like, it's like how to start this. I have no idea.
Here's the thing: if you're to pick up a mentor, this is probably where a lot of people fall short. If you decide to hire a mentor in whatever business it may be, and sometimes you don't need a mentor right away that's in the same business you're going into, just someone that understands business. Period. But don't go into a meeting or picking up a mentor kind of blind and having no information. Like, you want to go in with like a stack of notes, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, where you've done like 3, 4 weeks of homework, and you're like, okay, this is all the information I've gathered. This is what I know. This is the cost of my goods. This is how big of an inventory I can afford right now. I don't know how to put together a business plan. Where do we go from here? So like, you want to always make sure you're going in with all the ammunition you have, so that your coach or your mentor can actually give you the right weapons to fire with.
Yeah, and I'm really happy I have Davrik because he's guided me.
Yeah, 100%.
with some, like website. I'm like, how do I start a website? Who does my website? Should I pay somebody to do my website, or can I do it myself for now? And so he's told me a couple of things, how we kind of mapped it out briefly, but so I have some kind of idea too with him. So, I mean, he knows the other side of the technical, the website building, while I focus on, the actual product. So,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Maria. So here, you ready?
Yep.
So I was thinking when Sean was talking to her, one of the things that I would say for you is have a daily habit. So we know you want to be a DJ, right? You're going to go to this school. That's great. You know the cost. You probably did all that research. But the other side of it is, I call it ride-alongs. Remember, people want to be a police officer. They want to ride along with a police officer. I always tell people, whatever you want to do, shadow yourself around somebody. I would encourage you to reach out to all these local DJs on Instagram and see if you can get some time to just do a ride along. Say, hey, look, I'm trying to get in the business. I know it's a stretch. I'd like to, kind of maybe go to one of your shows and kind of stand there and watch what you do. If there's any tips that you could give me, and then have a daily habit of actually doing something towards that goal every day. You have to, I know you don't like writing it down. You got to write something down. Put up images in your room of your house or apartment of kind of the goals. But all these, there's so many different level of DJs around here. Go ahead.
I want to intervene on that, because so in this case, in your case, when you're going to try to seek out like a DJ that's doing pretty well and you want to shadow them, you have to bring some kind of value to the table too. Because if it's just you shadowing them and you're going to pick up, $1 million worth of value in one sitting or multiple, what are you doing for that person? And usually, like in a case like this, you could be like, hey, like as he said, I'd like to shadow you, see what it's about, see how you engage with your audience, what kind of music, how you transition. But here's what I'll do for you. You probably have a media person, but let me record you. Let me help you out with your social media. Let me grab some candid shots while you're in the middle of getting your audience involved. That brings so much value to the DJ where they won't even have to ask, like, well, what are you going to do for me? You're already coming in and saying, hey, I want to shadow you.
I was going to say that.
There you go. No, there you go.
There you go. I want to shadow you. Let me do this for you.
Right.
Yeah, barter with them. Provide your business, right? Solution. That's good, Sean. Good point. And I mean, it's like, hey, I'm not in the way. I just want to stand there as a guest, maybe behind the scenes, BTS, right? And see what you're doing. But he's right. You're a masseuse, so maybe you can trade and barter
In between.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in between,
the
switching.
sets.
Right.
In between sets is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But write it down, see how much the equipment costs. But I'm telling you, it's a lot of people don't do this, Sean. They hate to write it down.
Right.
Because it's painful. Because you're exposing yourself.
Right.
And now you have to hold yourself accountable.
It causes overthinking. It causes a lot of overthinking.
Say that again?
It causes overthinking.
Right. And then people get in this panic mode. And so I call it basic 101. What's the first thing you need to do? Have that habit, write it down. And I see people talk the talk, like you said, Minneapolis, Seattle, wherever, but then they don't walk the walk. They don't put a foot down. Don't be afraid. Like today or tonight or tomorrow, PumaKat could go, okay, I'm going to find out through Davrik or myself, which platform to use to create my website. Write it down and the cost. She took one step. instead of just thinking about it, because the thought process is always there. And that's why people's dreams fade and die, because they never implement and move forward. They stay in park. They don't even get neutral. They just stay in park.
Right.
You got to put it in first gear. Right. So write those down, do some R&D, research and development, find out who the DJs are, what kind of music scene you want to be in, and start getting around those folks, in a positive light, not the bad side. Right. But like, okay, I want to go to a couple shows. I'm not going there to party. I'm going there to get educated. Right. Because you can get caught up in that life. And that's not what we're trying to do. Right. After hour parties, blah, blah, blah. But it's all about networking and connections.
Correct.
Yeah, I think you can also like record yourself, put these videos on IG, or if you have a YouTube channel, you just set your camera. I see a lot of DJs use lives on IG, or just random reels.
What is it? It's Twitch, right? Is that other platform?
That's the one that video gamers use.
Yeah, but that's becoming very popular. Twitch as well.
Yeah, I mean, use any platform that is best for you, and just record yourself, put the videos out, do lives. I mean, I see a lot of DJs doing that.
And Sean's fortunate. Like, his business is word of mouth. He's gotten a lot. And he'll say this, and I don't say his name. He's not really a social media guy. He'll put his stories up and positive affirmations and messages, but he's not out marketing on social media. She's laughing.
I know what I miss.
He's not a social media guy. She started laughing.
Really? He spends like 1 hour in one post.
She said you.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, but
I'm just kidding.
But I'm saying your business is all through select.
They're not
word of mouth.
affirmations. They're not affirmations at all whatsoever. It's actual perspectives on life, on certain actions to take, and what steps to take to get to the next point, depending on where you're at and what needs to be done in your life. Some things are perspective from the next action step. Some things are perspective from, like, if you're coming from addiction and a fucked up dark life. Some things are perspective from, like, hey, these are some things that I just went through today. Here's what I did to get to the next step and to step my game up. So they're all action steps and perspective of what I've done, what I do, or what I'm going to be doing to progress and move up to the next level.
Right, but your business comes from word of mouth, most of it.
It was, and then now it does. It does come from social media. Also.
Okay.
A lot of it does.
Because before it wasn't.
It wasn't, but a lot of the things that I post does gather people's attention.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I like what you're talking about. I need that kind of mindset. How can you teach me, and how can you help me out to grow my business or my relationship? Or I'm stuck in this rut. I don't know how to get out of this. These are my daily habits. So it could be a variety of different things that people see when they see the message that I post, and they're like, you know what, I fuck with that. Tell me more.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like you have to put yourself out there. Like, Sean puts the stories and everything that is around what he's doing. Now you want to do the same as, I'll probably be modeling my clothing line at some point, videos, all of that. Like.
Yeah, and I also just hired a marketing company, not cheap at all, but because we're about to go crazy viral on the web with it too. So. I've taken the right steps to get to where it's at, because now the level that I'm at and what I'm doing, I'm still slowly starting to hit that ceiling, where now I do have to expand outside of just my own personal word of mouth, where I have to have a marketing team to really go blow my business up, to take it to the next level that you and I have been talking about.
And your platform of choice is IG right now, right? Is that your main?
IG, Facebook.
You're not, other than this show being on YouTube, you're not doing any other YouTube at all?
No, but the marketing company wants to do that too, because they want to run ads on that as well. So they're going to go super. I mean, we're talking so aggressive where we're dumping $10,000+ a month right away into my marketing.
Wow.
So there's no.
I think, don't you feel nowadays that everybody should have a Instagram and a YouTube as well?
I do.
Like you, and I know YouTube.
Depending on what business you're in. Because, like, for example, like the business that my mentor is in doesn't require that. It doesn't need that at all, because he's in the business of taking companies public, bringing money to the table, finding investors to help invest into small and big companies. So depending on the business you're in, you don't need a social media. You don't have to. But again,
he's already established, well established.
But even before that, because that doesn't really do much. Like his is sitting down with bigwigs that don't do shit on social media. They don't even, they'll never even look at it.
Right.
Most of the people that he deals with. He's dealing with these big corporate heads with big companies that, for the most part, you'll never see on social media. The only people that he ends up dealing with that are on social media, if it's new up and coming small businesses, like, for example, this cryotherapy company came to him, they're on social media. But again, that is something that would maybe use social media.
Yeah, because they're business to consumer.
Yeah.
So they have to expose themselves for consumers to see them. Got it. Okay. So Maria, IG, I know that you record what you're doing at these events. Look, it's October. What is it? The 4th? Mm-hmm. You got all month to get a couple of behind the scenes events to go to, right? And record it. Start a YouTube channel. Don't overthink YouTube. That's the one thing a lot of people do. They got to have it perfect. No, you don't. Most of the people that are successful, their YouTube stuff is just basic 101. We try to perfect ours for business, but in the long run, you see these gals doing these, these open box clothing line, what did they call it when they get clothes and they... Hauls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just their phone and they've got, 100,000 views. Right. And I'm thinking, are you serious?
I have videos sitting in my phone ready. I'm just like, well, I need a title. I mean, I'm just going to put them out.
Yeah, just put them out. Get the word out, right? Is there any other?
No, but you know what? I think,
don't know.
No, I don't think. I know.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. No. The biggest thing is people are easily distracted. And I think focus, here's the thing, focus goes beyond failure. And a lot of people choose, it's almost a conscious decision that they choose when they want to turn the focus button off because they've been working so hard. And let me tell you something, I'll tell you both right now, when you guys kick off your business, there is no messing around. There's no fucking around. There's no playtime. There's no going out. There's no having a good time. Your first 2-3 years is hard, rise and shine, grind your ass off, work your ass off. There is no time for small play. There is no time for small conversations. You're going to run into trouble, but trouble also equals opportunity. And those opportunities are going to open up doorways and help make your brain work in ways that it's never worked before, only when it hits those trouble points.
But I want you to talk about this. We talked about one show. Soon as you're excelling, someone comes and tries to chop your feet out and your legs. Remember we talked about the negative? It happened to both of us last month. We were like, boom, and all of a sudden we got hit. We're like, get off me. Get away from me. Oh, I've known you for years. No, I can't hang out with you. Talk about that, because I feel like I see this with a lot of people that are starting out in business, especially these two. Once they get going, they're going to get all these curveballs thrown at them. Negative people coming back in their life.
Yeah, people are going to be reaching out and saying, basically, okay, you nailed it. Like a lot of people that I work with, I operate at a certain pace, and my pace is not easy to keep up with, and it's very highly accelerated. I consider myself a very high performer, and people that I coach and mentor, one of my jobs is to teach people how to have high level performance, and that's if they come to me for that. But if they come to me for high level performance, that my goal and my job is to teach and educate them on what it takes mentally and physically to get to a high performing level. So, but that part of that means emulating some of the things that I do, my daily steps, my habits, my fundamentals, my core values, and at what level do I operate all day, every day, and what is my set schedule from wake up time to sleeping time. And you'll have people that will tell you, slow down, you're going too fast. You don't have to go at Sean's pace. Go at your own pace. It's okay to take a breath. No, it's not. Like, the thing is, like, the harder shit gets, the harder you got to go and the faster you have to go, because there will be people, because here's the thing, when momentum's on your side, people seem to have this weird, I can't comprehend this at all. People have this weird thought process that when momentum's on their side and everything's going good, because momentum is there, I'm going to take my foot off the gas because everything's coming in, everything's happening. Well, the second you take your foot off the gas, momentum is going to shut off. And here's the thing, at some point, by default, naturally, momentum will slow down for whatever reason it may be, whether a real personal life thing happens to you, family issue, time of the year, something in the industry gets fucked over, whatever it is, it's naturally going to slow down, and you're going to have to slow down with it, and you can only go so fast when momentum starts to take a tank. So by default, you need to go at that same pace and not allow any kind of distractions to come in, because it's going to happen. And people will, and here's the thing, people will validate you. So if you get to that point where you're like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, first of all, remove the word tired out of your vocabulary. Like, to me, that's a bad fucking word. You'll never hear me say I'm tired, ever. I haven't said it in like over a year, and ever since I did that, like, my brain, I run on 3-4 hours of sleep every single day, sometimes 2, and I don't crash. But that's because I operate on momentum, and I keep my momentum going. I keep it fired up the whole time. And when you start to speak that, and you start to tell people, if you were to go to Davik, like, Davik, I'm tired, I've been working hard, and I just feel like I need a break. I can't catch a break. he's going to validate that, tell you it's okay, take a break, slow down, take a vacation. And as soon as you hear that validation, your foot's going to come completely off the pedal, and you're going to wonder, like, what the fuck happened to my business? And it's going to take a big crash.
But it's I can't catch a break people that I don't like to be around. I don't say you can't catch a break. You create a break. You get away from it, right?
But when it's time, when it's earned.
Right.
So, like, I earned mine. So,
Right.
for example, like, I have this thing called 90-day madman cycles. That's one of the things that I try to teach my clients is every 90 days, I go as hard as I can, as fast as I can, no bullshitting around, 7 days a week, no days off. Basically all gas, no brakes. And then after 90 days, I'll start slowly planning out a recharge trip, whether it's here locally or to like Dallas or Colorado or something. And I'll take off for 3-4 days, recharge. I don't stop thinking about what needs to be done. So I take the momentum with me, recharge, go over my business plan. What's my next moves? Come back. The next 90-day madman cycle starts. And then I repeat that so every year I have, every quarter, at the end of a quarter, I'll take a break. But if my momentum is too high, I'll skip the break until momentum starts to slow down by itself. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And that is also a big fault that people have when it comes to building a business is they think I've been going so long, I've earned myself a vacation. So I'm just going to kind of take a step away, and it's like, dude, you come back and your business is fucking history.
The only time I try to slow down is if I start getting sick. And I tell you, I'm not getting sick. But your body, you start getting sniffles or something because we don't want it to go south.
But that's what I said.
Right.
Momentum is naturally going to come to a stop on its own.
And then you, by default, you're like, okay,
it's time.
If I keep going, I could catch the sea, right? But Sean's right. You just got to keep going because it's interesting too. And I think the universe rewards you, or you're blessed and you get rewarded. Because remember that situation where I lost that 64K deal and I came back a little bit. Now I'm coming back again because I didn't give up. I just kept going. I didn't let it stop me. I was like, okay, whatever. They're still sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then I had a text on my phone, Davrick, we need help. I haven't worked with this client in 3 years. Thank God I kept the same number, right? Now that's going to pay dividends, and another client's paid dividends. This other client's still trying to figure out. I didn't wait for him. And so I was like, I can take a break. Well, I'm not sick. I can't take a break. If I took a break, I'd lose out on these other opportunities. You just keep going and going and going and going. Sean's like, this one more thing. We were trying to get this podcast for Friday. He says, Davrick, what's your weekend look like? Do you have any time? I said, no, I have no time at all. Zero. Because of what happened Friday. I couldn't stop. Now I'm here.
I forgot about that too. That's right.
Right. Well, he didn't know why. He just accepted my answer. He says, you sure? I said, I'm positive. And I was behind from a Friday issue. So I was grinding all weekend. And I felt my body, but I'm like, okay, keep going. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Right? Go ahead. What were you saying?
What was I going to say?
Momentum.
No. It slipped my thoughts.
That's okay. So.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead. This is open mic.
Okay, cool. So I think that's really interesting that you say, or what you were just talking about, because like in my environment back in Minnesota, it's not that it wasn't like depressing or whatever, but the more depressing side was when I was massaging people and like it was during COVID and so many people were just sad, and lonely, but the other part of it was I was around a lot of athletes who thought they could go pro right away, or you know what I mean, like very quickly. And so to me, though, I didn't see any other action outside of the gym or meaning I didn't see anybody wanting to start a business or, you know what I mean, going after their actual dreams. Like, okay, well, if you want to be a personal trainer, like, why don't you just start your own shit instead of fucking working for Anytime Fitness? Yeah. Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's open mic. Anything goes.
But you know what I mean? So I was like, what the hell are you doing? If you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just felt like I was around so many people who are like just focused on looks. And it's like, no, what you're preaching on Instagram and being an entrepreneur and like having a positive mindset, that's just for bodybuilding, for whatever.
I don't mean to cut you off. You know what? We know it's funny that she says that. what have I said to you? That is the exact reason why I've gotten into the fitness industry, to go against that fucking grade.
Yep.
Because I fucking hate with like passion, the vain and the vanity and the narcissism of the fitness industry and the competitive world, because it's all about looks, beauty, and fitting this fucking lifestyle that's so phallus to reality. It's completely flawed. Like you're disconnected from reality. You're so connected to the internet, you're disconnected to people.
Right.
And you're so connected to the fucking mirror that you're disconnected from relationships. Like, what the fuck? Well, and that's what trainers and fitness influencers are preaching these days. And it's like, dude, you are like so lost in life.
And the reality is, and we talked about this on the way here, in the competitive bodybuilding fitness industry, a lot of those, 99% of those people don't make any money. If you were making money, look, if you're making, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $1 million a year, and you're doing that on Instagram, hey, great. Hats off to you. Shake your hand. There's a purpose and value behind it. But if it's just every day, just to look in the mirror, you're lost.
Well, and it's not because of fitness.
Right.
It's because of something else you've done.
Right.
To go out of your way to actually take yourself to the next level.
Right. Like, how are you going to build on that? Oh, wow, I've seen her IG. I've seen her clothing line. I like what she represents, blah, blah, blah. But Sean's 100% right. It's like, oh, please.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing too, like they've lost perspective and they've lost purpose. Like, you have to have purpose.
Yes.
And your purpose has to be in some shape or form to serve other people. Purpose creates peace, right? And without that, you're stuck in this world where at some point you hit those levels of depression and potential suicidal thoughts. Like, some of us are aware there are people that have been at the highest top 10 Olympian level that have taken their life that you would think like, what the fuck happened there? Yeah. You're one of the top 10. You're one of the best looking. You're in the best shape. Right. You're one of the biggest people on the fucking planet. And you got a family, you got kids, you're making good money. And what exactly caused this? And it ends up being because you're so focused. Well, I'm not saying for the specific person, but for the most part, you get so focused on this, me in the mirror, and you're so disconnected that your emotional and your spiritual is in two different worlds, right? And the thing is, like, with every choice has to have purpose, and there has to be precise intention behind it. And without that, you're going to be kind of orbiting in this world with nothingness.
And
this,
you
know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Hold on, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. One of the biggest things that I try to tell people that I'm very well aware with myself is having conscious congruency. You guys know what that means?
Not really.
So conscious congruency is where your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are operating at the same level and are 100% alignment with whatever your future life goals are. Got it. Right? And here's the thing. A lot of people will ignore their conscious. And the more you ignore it, the louder it gets. The louder it gets and the more you ignore it, you start to hit those points of defeat.
So what does ignoring look like?
Means not listening to what if you know, because here's the thing, if you know what you need to do in life and you know what your purpose is and you're doing things that are not aligned with those steps, that would be ignoring your conscious. And here's the thing too, is if you're not going to listen to you, if you're not going to listen to yourself, why the fuck would I listen to you? Why would I take any advice? And here's the thing too, most people think that it is not very transparent if I'm like talking to you and you're one of those people, Davrick, I know for a fucking fact you are ignoring your purpose. I know for a fact you're ignoring your conscience. I know for a fact that you're not following the steps that it shows. Right. Your behavior, your demeanor, how you speak, your talk, your walk, the way you speak, it all shows. And I'm like, this is a motherfucker I would never follow. This guy I would never fucking listen to because the guy can't even listen to himself. So why would I listen to you? And everything that comes out of your mouth, I can hear and smell the bullshit because you consciously choose to ignore what your conscience is telling you to do.
Right. It's that thought that comes from within, right? You know what's right and wrong, right? So, and to add on that, one of the things I've told people, why are you doing what you do? Why? And a lot of people don't have an answer. But I'm not doing what I'm doing because I love doing what I'm doing it to get to the next level, right? What's my next step? And so the why you do what you do is more important than, I'm doing it because I'm an accountant. Why are you doing it? What's your, right? So to add on to that, you might be doing something now to create momentum to go to the next level. right? I didn't aspire to do what I'm doing forever. I need to go to the next level, right? So I call it a leveling game, right? I'm a bartender, hypothetically. Do you want to be a bartender the rest of your life? Well, no. What's your next step? Why are you doing this? I want to make enough money to create, i.e. a clothing brand, and go to the next level. I want to make enough money, i.e. to be a DJ. But you want to be a DJ forever. Do you want to buy other businesses? Do you want to buy homes? Do you want to be real estate? But you just can't stay focused on one thing. And so for me, the why, like you said, that subconscious mind and conscious mind being in alignment, your body always tells you, your mind always tells you. You know how you have that sixth sense, right? We talked about that. It's like, something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, so don't do it. Or I think this is a shady area. Something doesn't feel right about that guy. Well, you're probably right, but then you always go, no, I'm just not going to listen to myself. So Sean said it. Why the fuck would somebody listen to him or you if you won't even listen to yourself?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So good shit. I like it.
Okay.
That's good, man.
Go ahead.
You to mention like people on IG or something, just it's all about me, or right? You said something
Not
like that.
just IG, it's in life.
Or right. So for me, when I want to have my own business, not more than one business, and I thought about vlogging everything on YouTube, how I'm starting, how I'm doing it, whether it's fail or not. Like, hey, I ordered this thing, and I lost money, but I want to show people because I have a lot of messages on IG that come in from women, mainly. And they tell me, oh, you're such an inspiration for me. I want to be just like you. There's some like, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you're so lucky you have that body. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I'm not lucky. I've actually trained a lot. I'm committed. I say, have consistency with my food, my meals. But, even in person, and like, you're so lucky you have that body. No, I'm not lucky. But anyway, I want to vlog and show my process.
Sure.
Because there's women and friends that I've had, back in Tucson too, that they're stuck, right? They talk to me and I can feel that they want to be bigger. They tell me, I wish I was like you. I wish I had that car. I wish I had that bag. You're so lucky. Anyway, so I want to show them, no, you can actually do it once you set your mind to it. There's people that have said, oh, I wish I had a brand, or I wish I had this, but they're stuck in that, right? And so by me providing, kind of not being a real mentor, I don't know if you would title it that way, but just showing them, hey, you can do it too.
You're being an example.
Right.
And again, that's where focus goes beyond failure, because you are going to fail. And it's okay for people to see you fail, because you're also going to show them that even though you failed and you've fallen on your face and shit hurts and you've lost some money, you're staying focused enough to keep going forward, because eventually all failure is just a learning lesson.
Yeah.
And you're going to make sure that you don't. Here's the thing. It becomes a problem, and it is your problem, and it is your fault if you make that same mistake twice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Sean a shirt. Here's the thing.
It took me a second to process that.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the
He did
thing.
say that.
I would say
And
that.
this is legendary. Get his IG on there. That's great, though. No.
Well,
Sorry.
anyway, I want to show them, once you set your mind to it, like before I met you, I didn't believe I can actually own a business. I thought that was so far away. That wasn't even in my circle. I could never do that. And now being around you, you're like, yeah, you can. Or you can be Miss Olympia. Nah, there's no way I ever get there. You're like, yeah, you can. And so you've opened my mind to a lot of things. And now I'm here thinking about my clothing line. But now I'm like, okay, once that's successful, I actually want to buy a home and invest in a property or something. So my mind it's going further than what I ever even thought. And I have people and family members that tell me, oh, you think you're going to do that? Oh, you think, and so I want to vlog it and show any women out there that I am an inspiration to them. Like, wow, if she did it, it's just a matter of, like you guys say, setting your goals and having a plan and, actually believing in your dreams that you have to achieve. Like I was the one that said, there's no way I can be a business owner or do any of that.
Correct. And here's the thing too, like you and I have for sure been here way many times. A lot of people, because yes, there are those stories where some people have been fortunate, we won't say lucky, that have struck gold within the first year. Whether it's because of the right connection, they met the right person, whatever it may be. Yes, there are, but those are far and few between. But for everybody else that's truly made it and has done big things, they've paid a fucking price. And the thing is, like, how much of a price have you?
Preach to us, brother.
Like,
we paid some prices.
People come to us and they're like, man, I can't get my business off the ground. It's been a year. It's been 6 months. It's been 2. Well, first of all, like, the time-wise, maybe you haven't paid the price yet. But at the same time, like, what type of price, like, how much of a price have you really paid to be asking for the things you want in life? Because if you haven't paid shit, if you haven't eaten shit, if you haven't fallen on shit face first, then what the fuck makes you think you deserve anything?
You're going to keep eating shit.
Yeah.
Who was it was it your mentor we talked to last week said Twitter hasn't turned a profit? Somebody hasn't turned a profit? Who was it? Elon Musk?
Tesla.
Tesla hasn't turned a profit. They make money. They haven't turned a profit.
Yeah.
So, it takes 6 months? You got to have 6 months of savings when you start a business because you might not see revenue. You might not make any money. Right. So, I've been in it 6 months. It's like,
but here's the thing, like, over the years, and yet there's a slight age gap between us, but over the years, yes. But over the years,
older.
I am spiritually. You're chronologically, I'm spiritually. But over the years, like, we both have paid some serious price in our life to finally, like, get to where we are now, to be chasing the next level. And now, like, I'm in the midst of dealing with 8-9-figure deals right now that are taking place. But that's because I've paid the fucking price where now people have come to me and it's like, again, it shows. I talk the talk. I walk the walk. The way I speak, the way I condone myself, the type of business that I look for, and how I manage that kind of business is where it's like, hey, here's what we need you for. This is what we got going on. Here's the type of money that's involved. And in a couple of those, I've gotten you involved in too.
Right.
But I'm actually in the mix of the inside of it. I just provided the opportunity for you to invest into it. That's going to make a whole lot of money.
A lot of money.
But
especially
There's a whole lot of money.
But again, and again, we're not trying to make this about money, but again, that comes down to because over the last years, and especially the last 2 years, I've paid a heavy price over the last 24 months. I paid a bigger price in the last 24 months than most people will do in 10 years.
I guess I paid my price, right? No. When I moved, I was really scared.
You got to make sacrifices.
I was really scared. I left everything I ever worked for, so I think
that's
to start over.
That's your first step.
Right.
That's the first step. That's not.
That's the
You
easy.
talking money wise?
Yeah.
That's the easy part. That's the real easy part.
Paying the price is how long and how much time are you willing to endure the pain of building a business? Whether it is money you've lost, whether it is when things just get very difficult, when everybody hates you, when the customers don't want to buy from you, when your colleagues are like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When everything against you, when the world is against you, how hard do you push back? Or do you eventually let yourself get pushed down?
Do you remember we made the post that said, hey, I'm thinking of this idea of my boutique? And we had some people, negative comments. What was it? I don't even remember.
Yeah. That's okay. You need haters. Haters drive your.
Well, I'll close out with this. As you just said it. If you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you don't have haters, you're not making money.
Yeah, even after my last show.
If people aren't talking about you, you're not making money. Period.
Right.
Right.
Like,
That's true.
you want to make money, you better have people fucking talk shit about you.
Me and Sean
Negative
have
or
people talk
positive.
shit all the time. We just look at our taillights. There they go. Just leave them behind you. And you can't engage with those people. Just whatever.
No.
Cut them out. Get around Sean, me, other people of influence, people that are moving somewhere.
It's honestly more entertainment for me than
It is.
I like it. I don't know.
I like it, but not like that.
Well, like,
I just get to laugh at it. I just laugh
They,
about
they
it.
said, Davrick, you can't twerk that well. I know, but it was entertaining. They were negative about it. I tried. Just kidding.
But anyway, ladies, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Today was actually pretty fun. It actually pulled me out of my little weird
it's
mindset that I was in. Because again, getting my brother's gravestone on my arm was a big fucking deal. And
Right.
it kind of put me in the slumps for a minute there. But again, that's a story I'll share with my story. But that was just something very special that I finally put on my arm.
we
for
should do that
everybody
next
too.
episode.
Yeah.
You're due.
I think we
Yeah.
should do like an update on me and Maria, and I'm
Hey, maybe
You know
we do a
what I mean?
check-in.
I'm not
check-in in
saying, like,
60 days, 30 days. We do a
Okay.
check-in.
you're
6
gonna hold
months.
me accountable.
6
like,
months. 6 months.
90 days?
6 months. 6 months. You have two 90-day cycles to go through.
All right.
So 90 days and 6
Yeah.
months?
Two 90-day cycles.
What have
So
you
2
accomplished
months.
since our last
Okay.
talk, right?
There you go.
So-
Hold them
There
accountable.
you go.
Guys,
Now I got to get to work.
Hey, guys,
Excited.
we got to wrap it up. Make sure you go to Iris's Instagram,
Yes.
Maria's Instagram, Sean's Instagram, my Instagram. Make sure you message us with any questions you have. And what else, Sean?
subscribe, click the button,
Smash
hit
it.
the notifications. And if you find value in what we talk about, if you believe in what we're talking about, if you get even just a little bit, the only fee that we ask for is to share our stuff.
Yeah, share the story. Right on.
I like it.
All right, guys.
We out.
Thanks for your time. Have a great day.
Adios.
Thank
Peace.
you. Bye.
Right on. See,
That
something
was
new
cool.
every day.
That was cool.
Oh,
She's I'm motivated.
She's like, I want to
now.
be a DJ.